let's now talk about producer surplus. So, parallel to the notion of consumer surplus is this concept of producer surplus. Producer surplus looks at what we call producer's well being or producer's welfare, because whenever a producer is selling a good, he would love to sell a good for a price which is more than the cost of making the good. And when you have a supply curve that is upward sloping, it is always possible that what you sell could be at a cost which is lower and the price could be higher, which means you might pocket what we call some producer surplus or some welfare. So let's see this with this diagram. So let's say if I'm a producer and I'm currently selling at a price of $5 and I'm selling 5 units. Right. Now, if you ask me what's the cost of making the first unit, I will say if the first unit is sold for, let's say this is my first unit, the first unit is sold for $5, which is can be seen from the market price. So this point is $5, but the cost of making this good is 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 right now $1. So the cost of making is $1 while the price is $5, which means that I am actually pocketing something called a producer surplus, which is the difference between, let me write this, producer surplus is the difference between market price and the cost cost of making a good. Now, the cost of making a good, the first unit's cost is $1. And it's not true that for all the units that I make, the cost is the same. In fact, we learn in our upward sloping supply curve that whenever supply curve is upward sloping, it means as we produce more and more, the cost of making each unit may go up, because you might be hiring more workers in the short run and so on and so forth, and that may mean your cost may go up for each unit. And as long as the price that I'm getting for the good is less than the cost of making that unit, I'm happy because I am pocketing some kind of a surplus. So look at this, guys. So the first unit, let's say the cost is $1, and my supply curve tells me that that's the minimum I would accept. But of course, the market is good. Market is giving me 5, so I am pocketing for the first unit. I am pocketing a producer surplus of 5 minus 1 or $4. Let's say for the second unit, now let's focus on the second unit, my cost goes up to $2. Will I sell this unit? And the answer is yes, because my price is 5, but my cost of making this good is $2, which means I am pocketing $3 of surplus.
Quick pause. If you're finding value in this explanation, there's so much more to discover. At Alt Academy, we break down every A-level concept with the same level of clarity. Now, let's continue.
Now, this is what we call a marginal producer surplus, because I'm looking at each unit. So I'm looking at extra producer surplus. Similarly, for the third one, let's say my cost of making it, let's say third unit is here. My cost of making the third unit is, for example, let's choose this color. Third unit, my cost of making this good is $3. Fourth one, my cost is $4, and so on. So if you can look at producer surplus, which is the difference between the market price, which is $5, minus the cost of making it, it will be 4 for the first, 3 for the second. For the third one, my cost is 3. My cost is 3, so 5 minus 3 is 2. For the fourth one, my cost is 4, so 5 minus 4 is 1. And then for the fifth one, its cost is 5, price is 5, so that's 0, which would mean I have what we call pocketed producer surplus all the way till like fifth one. Now, will I sell the sixth unit? And the answer is definitely not, because for the sixth unit, my cost is much higher. My cost is probably $6, but the price that I'm getting from the market, which is where demand and supply meets the equilibrium price. If I draw my demand curve here, let's say I draw my demand curve here, you can say that you will never go beyond the fifth unit because your producer surplus becomes negative. But for all the units from 0 to 5, I have pocketed producer surplus, which is equal to $10. And if I look at the area of total producer surplus, which is $10, it will be all of this region, which is area under the market price of $5 above the supply curve. So in short, what we say is this, that area under the market price above the supply curve is my producer surplus. So just like area under the demand curve above the market price is my consumer surplus, area above the supply curve below the market price is my producer surplus. And that's telling us that whenever the price is greater than the cost of making the good, the producer will be happily supplying the good. Okay, so one way of defining our producer surplus is the surplus earned by firms over and above the minimum that would have kept them in the market. The minimum that will keep you in the market is the cost of the good. If you're not getting the cost of the good, you will definitely won't produce the good, because you're not getting any margin or profit or benefit and so on.
If you found that helpful, imagine what you could achieve with the full economics course. Over 60,000 students have used All Academy to transform their A-levels journey. Don't wait and take the first step today.